Yo, 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 you already know who it is. Bro, me goes podcast. Back in the building. You already know. It's your boy Price and Rob coming to you guys again. And you already know. You already know. It's NFL draft episode time. But we do have a couple things first to cover before we do that. You know, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia went down last night, rock'em sock'em robot style. You know, Devin Haney took his first career loss. We're gonna talk about the draft whole situation. Uh, is the Warriors dynasty really ending, or are we still living in it? And our baseball unicorn Shohei Ohtani, the plight of a quiet man. And we're gonna talk about all of that today here, Bro Migos podcast.
Bruh.
Let's get it. Rob, the fight. The fight last night.
Mhm.
Devin Haney no longer undefeated. I need him to go change that little line he got in his bio, that 30 and over 15 knockouts. He need to go ahead and change that to 30 and 1 now with 15 knockouts. What did you see last night in the fight? I want to see what you saw first. Yeah.
A beat down but I mean me and Devin Haney went to sleep like last night, even though he didn't get knocked out, he got knocked down a bunch. And I got back up to kind of like see the fight as it was going. But like, yeah, man, like I at least saw first round, like he basically just was outclassed by Garcia. And like it seemed like people were always skeptical. Like people were like, man, like should Ryan Garcia be in this fight? Like should actually he be here in this fight because of how the post that he's made, like what he's been doing, like something's been going on with him, something's wrong. And yeah, he just beat the living dog shit out of him. I just straight up beat him. And I know people were like hesitant on Devin Haney. I hadn't seen too much of Devin Haney's fights. I didn't really have too much in the stake. But it seemed like, you know, from us talking like before the show, it very much seemed like they were trying to preserve Devin Haney as like the
Oh
next great
yeah.
one. And Ryan Garcia is like, nah, fuck that. I'm going to kick your ass and I'm going to do it in front of all these people.
In
And he
front of
did.
all of them.
He basically did. That's what it sounded like.
So this is what I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna always say this, and it doesn't mean that I'm a purist on guys having to knock people out. But I'm gonna say this. Look dead into the camera. You can't go into a fight saying that I'm gonna win all 12 rounds all the time against the guy and just win the fight off of points. It doesn't always work. And I feel like Devin Haney's career was mostly that on the backs. Devin Haney's not a knockout artist. He got 15. Well, you say, well, he knocked out half the people. Ryan Garcia had knocked out almost 80% of the people he had fought. Okay?
Mhm.
80%, 50% is quite the difference from a coin flip to almost a 4 out of 5. Well, 4 out of 5, you know? And going into this match, I'm not gonna lie, I was concerned. Ryan was doing erratic shit and all kind of stuff like that. And then they said they had been seeing him in clubs and acting erratic
Mhm.
and making posts and all of this. And I remember thinking to myself yesterday, I had that third level thought of, what if that shit was a mind game? What if it was him putting on to try to make Devin Haney feel as comfortable as possible as saying, I'm going to go in here and outclass this dude who's been partying and drinking, and I'm going to beat him, you know? And I was like, okay, they came to a money agreement on Ryan not making weight. Ryan came in like
Mhm.
3.5 pounds over. So I think it translated to like something like a million and some change in purse or something like that for not making weight. Now, if you guys don't know, once boxers make weight, whenever they come in the fight, they're at whatever weight they're at. You can make weight one day at 140, come back in that bitch at 145, and you got a little extra pep in your power, okay? Ryan came in at 143. Whenever I looked at Ryan Garcia last night, he looked every bit of about 147, 148, close to 150. And I was like, he's gonna put some pep on Haney if he can hit him, which he's very fast, he's very strong. That's the issue that I don't think Haney was saying. Haney kept saying, "Oh, I know what hand you're gonna hit me with," and he hit him with that hand. You can't get hit with the hand that you know is coming and tell people in the weeks that's all he got. That's all he got, and he still hit you with it. You can't get hit like that. I saw Mike Tyson wearing a shirt the other day that said everybody got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Ryan Garcia punched Devin Haney in the mouth multiple times. And let me get on you, old Mr. Ring Referee. Why were you saving Devin Haney? Devin Haney was getting hit and leaning into Ryan Garcia and falling down, and you waving off saying that it's not a knockdown. It's not a knockdown. Rob, I was sitting here yelling at like 11, 12 last night going, he didn't hit him, ref. He didn't hit him. He's falling. Let him fall. Count the shit. The match is over. And he literally let him make it a whole round to try to get his legs back up on him to finish the fight. And I was like, they really want this fight to go to a decision. And I'm not gonna lie, I was in the fight and I was like, Ryan, you got it. If you want this win, you're gonna have to knock his ass out. Which he didn't knock him out, but he knocked him down enough and he won. He won a majority decision. But bro, it's one of those fights where I feel like refs are they saving certain people. I feel like they wanted to preserve Devin Haney because they look at him because he believes that he could be the next Mayweather, which is a bunch of y'all believe. Y'all gonna be the next Mayweather. I'm gonna be undefeated. I'm gonna walk through. And y'all don't realize the technicalities that's in Mayweather's undefeated streak of the people who he fought towards the end and how he fought them. Y'all not fighting dudes that y'all not fighting a man with a torn labrum and a rotator cuff and you go in there and win. Y'all not fighting the dude who just lost. He was 2-3 in his last 5 fights. Y'all not fighting the dude who was an MMA fighter and then you're going to take him 9-10 rounds and just try to finish him. That's not the guys y'all are fighting. Y'all are fighting other guys that are equal in skill and on y'all level and around the same age. Don't let that Mayweather mentality get you messed up. Do not let that get you messed up right now because y'all forgot. People are not going to let y'all do what Mayweather did to other people. It's not happening no more. That ship has sailed so far right now. We couldn't see it with the best. We need satellite GPS to track that ship out there, okay? Because that sucker's gone. Matter of fact, it sailed off of the Earth and is somewhere headed in the Milky Way galaxy. You're probably not going to see that crap till it comes back for quite some time. Probably be dead and gone before it get back. Okay? So let that Mayweather mentality be gone. Let it be gone. But, hey, Ryan Garcia rocked him, sock him, roboted him. And then last night I saw him tweeting at Nigel Conner Ben. I was like, I don't know if you want to bark up that tree right now. You know, you just got your return victory. Be careful who you ask to fight because he's a dog over there in Britain, and that man actually called him a wanker last night on Twitter, and that was quite funny to me. Whenever I read this, I was like, wanker.
In it.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I'm like, so this is quite funny, but all in all, it was a great win for Ryan Garcia. I'm glad to see him kind of make his bounce back. Devin Haney, they say they're going to run it back. I know Devin going to have every stipulation in the book to try to keep Ryan underway if they get this rematch. But I don't think Ryan's going to let it happen. But all in all, it was a good fight.
Yeah, Ryan already said no.
Yeah, I know he's not going to run it back. Ryan knew what he had to look. Look, I'm going to take my W and walk off on your ass. You ain't getting this back. Hey, can't blame him though. He shut Haney up, and Haney's dad got to eat that one now. And at the end of the day, a win is a win is a win. Yeah. Now, moving on, we gotta jump right into this NFL draft because it's the draft, baby. It's the draft. And we love it, and it just
we finally made it.
We made it. NFL, we made it. We made it to the draft. Now we just got to make it to the damn start of the preseason, and I'll be better. But baseball and basketball is holding
Yeah.
me over right now. It's holding me
Hmm.
over right now for sure, for sure. But Rob, I see you said the Bears aren't man enough not to draft Caleb Williams. Explain this to me, my brother.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like when I say, because I've had this conversation with multiple people. Like they were like, you know what? The Bears might actually look at drafting Drake May, or they might look at drafting Jaden Daniels. I'm saying y'all looking at the wrong fucking thing. Because the thing is, it's this is bigger than just, oh, we need to go get a guy. Say no, there's been one anointed guy the last 2 years that has been right there in college football, and he is available, and he is available for you, Bears. Why? Because the Panthers stunk, and that's on them. They are the reason. They are the blame. But be that as it may, you guys, Bears, there is no other option. There is Caleb Williams, and then there's Caleb Williams, and then there's Caleb Williams, and then there's Caleb Williams. Like that's the only option y'all really got. Y'all could go Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels is a fine prospect, fine product. We're gonna talk a little bit more about him in a minute. Drake May, another one, arm talent, looks like guys, whatever. There's Caleb Williams. There's the guy that basically has had the exceptional arm talent. There's the guy that's basically made exceptional throws, won the Heisman Trophy, basically carried USC. And if USC's defense could actually make a fucking tackle, would have probably been in the national championship picture. But the thing about it is, there is no other option. This is the dude. And granted, there has been questions about, hey, can he make the routine throws? Can he do the things that are more just regular? Because he's made like all of his highlights. He got a litany of highlights, but can he make the just under center, drop back throws that just needs to be made as a quarterback? Just play regular ass quarterback. Can he do that? That's more to be seen, but I'm thinking it's gonna be a yes. It's just to where y'all can't really veer off this beaten path. Like y'all need to basically say, "Hey, we're gonna go get Caleb Williams, and we're gonna do whatever after that." Because yeah, I still have the rest of the draft left, and I'll pull up see what picks y'all got. But even like, it's still to the point of you guys have to be this guy. And like I said, I don't think y'all are man enough to basically not do it. Like this is one of those, like what would Cats be saying, like no balls. Like
Yeah.
this is one of those situations where it's like y'all don't really have like this is one of those like y'all can't do anything else. Like let's see, the next pick y'all got after number one uh is somewhere in the second round. I think I saw it earlier, but no, it's not even in the second round. Y'all don't have any picks until at least the third, like the 75th
Mm.
pick. So y'all got number one, and y'all standing pat. Y'all ain't really got y'all. No, sorry, I'm tripping. Y'all got the number 9 pick, so y'all gonna get Roma Doozy anyway. But y'all basically gonna go get Caleb Williams. Y'all not gonna get anybody else. So bump whatever anybody else think. Bump what everybody else say. Y'all got one choice to make, and I'm sorry that y'all hamstrung to it. Not really sorry because he's a great talent. So it is what it is.
Is this the aftermath of the Mitch Trubisky and whatnot, and like the failed prospects of, because you got to remember they've drafted people, and then the people after the people that they've drafted have been better than the person that they drafted.
So yes and no, because like with Mitch, it was the thing of they didn't really have much. I guess Mitch didn't also play well. Like they had like some other cats to come in and play like had a modicum of success, but yeah, Trubisky just did not play well. But like it's also just a product of they kind of stunk it up. Like they didn't really put much around their player, around their team. Like because I remember this came up like when they had I saw the tweet about how can evaluators keep getting quarterback evaluation wrong, and it's just because people just look at quarterbacks as cure alls. They don't look at the totality. Like if Mahomes went to Chicago at number 2, he would have been out of the league by now. And it was one of the things, and part of it is because what those evaluators like Lou Riddick and Matt Nagy and stuff like that, things that they said was like he was reckless with the ball, which he still is. He throws across his body, he makes plays, but it's plays that's like, ooh, 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 okay. Like if Mitch Trubisky was making those plays, you laugh him off the earth.
Yeah.
But Mahomes makes these plays that he's known for that work out for him. They just don't work out for anybody else. Or unless you're like Josh Allen. But even then, Josh Allen coughed up the ball every goddamn time too. So it's really more like they basically haven't gotten it right so many times. And this is the best prospect that's ever fallen into their lap. And it's only fallen into their lap because Carolina's tendency to be overly aggressive and really think Bryce Young was the dude. Because we can go back to the archives. I was like CJ Stroud was a better quarterback prospect.
Yeah.
And he was shown to be a better quarterback prospect last year. But it's still to be known, still to be said, what is all going to end up being. But if they weren't so aggressive in trying to get a quarterback and trying to get Bryce Young and it ended up crappy for like last season, Bears wouldn't be able to pick Caleb Williams. They'd just be at 9. So yeah, this is the best prospect that they've ever had because of what has fallen into their lap. Like it's crazy. I mean, granted, they had the number 1 pick last year. They traded it, and they was gonna get Jalen Carter, who I thought was worth the number 1 pick, but understandably, nobody wanted to get him as the number 1 pick because of what happened at Georgia.
Yeah.
Or after the national
championship.
So yeah, it's what it is. But yeah, y'all ain't man enough to not take this dude. So good luck with him. Have fun with him.
I'm gonna say this real
nice
quick. If they didn't pick him, and let's say they drafted JJ McCarthy, okay?
Whew. I would, as a Vikings fan, I would love for y'all to do that. Take that possibility away from us. Absolutely, I would. Actually, you know what? I've changed my mind.
Because if that happened,
y'all sure are mad enough.
Because I've been thinking about it. We know
I'm not thinking about it.
That they are prone to make the wrong decision. Rob, they're like little kids in the candy store that pick all of the wrong shit that they don't need to have, okay? So what if I'm just saying, because like I said, you said that maybe that they're probably possibly not man enough. But what if, let's just throw this out there. What if on draft day they come out there and they say the Chicago Bears with the number 1 pick JJ McCarthy, and they send the NFL into a scramble at the draft boards for the next 5 picks because Caleb Williams didn't go number 1. Okay? Because then it's him, Daniels, Marvin Harrison Jr., who else we looking at? Drake May would still be out there. You'd have 4 guys, and 3 of them are top potential quarterbacks that could start at the beginning of the season, and a wide receiver who just definitely deserves to go top 4, top 5, would be up there right after that pick. Just what if that happened? Just think about the pandemonium that will happen at the draft boards right then and there. It would be maddening. We would see Twitter crash. We would see social media go nuts with the NFL tags at that moment, and it would be have the Bears made another huge mistake.
I
just saying.
I remember the episode with South Park where Stan's dad discovered certain videos on the internet and basically was watching them, and then like it was a scene where basically he's sitting up and he's like, kind of just tired with things all over him.
Yep.
That would be me, because look, if the Bears do that,
because just work with me, bro. Just work, because we know that they're prone to make
I love it.
decisions. We know
I love it.
you know that it's a possibility because, like we've said, these guys get it wrong so often on these picks. They get it wrong so often. And what if this is the one time they had the chance to be right and they went and pick wrong anyway? Because what if it's the mind
I
games? My right pick, what I think is so sure, probably isn't sure. Maybe I should pick this guy because this guy is probably the guy and not the guy that we think that he is.
so I would say that's always a possibility. And I would say that with how basically they've been talking about, say, JJ McCarthy, for example, with how much like Shanahan guys and like how much Shanahan guys are like all through the NFL now.
Yep.
Um, and how basically they like this, hey, just run my system quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
And JJ McCarthy being that high end, just run my system quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
That is a possibility. I just don't see anybody in Chicago as that. And like I said, when we talk about with the evaluations, it's really more like with with Caleb Williams as the example, it's really more he has the exceptional arm talent, the exceptional everything that it's like even if you don't have this system, you can at least figure it out with them. You have a high end thing, high end engine. Like it's really like I if I don't know how to build a car, but I know I have a Lamborghini engine right there in my stock, I can basically figure it out from there. I could figure out how to make a Lamborghini type car. But if I basically am going to go how have that Honda Accord engine, what I can do with my car and and the capabilities I can have with my car are way more limited. So with Caleb Williams, I have that high end engine that basically I can figure shit out with. And I can do whatever I need to and figure it out on the back end with this high end engine versus if I had like a more mid-sized sedan engine. My capabilities is going to be hampered.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. You never know. But I just wanted to throw that out. I just had. I know now it makes you happy to know that it's a possibility that they can do this wrong. It's a possibility.
oh, but the thing about it is wrong is a matter of we have no fucking clue. JJ
Yeah.
McCarthy could be if they picked him as the number one pick, he could be the best quarterback available. He could be the best quarterback of the class.
Yeah. We just waiting
Absolutely
to see
could.
how it pans out the
That's
next
that's the
5 to
that's
10
the whole
years.
thing about quarterback evaluation. Like quarterback evaluation doesn't take into account the team because we don't know what the team's going to do in the future.
True.
We don't know what coach they're going to have in
True.
5 years. We don't know what receivers he's going to have in 5 years, what the defense is going to look like. That's the thing with quarterback evaluation. It's just about the engine. And if you judge basically teams for the engine, then you don't think about the tires, you don't think about the chassis, you don't think about the transmission, you don't think about anything else. You're just thinking about, oh, it has a high powered engine. That's cool if it's on bricks. Like, what is a high powered engine going to do? It's just going to make vroom sounds.
True.
If it can basically get fuel line to it because it doesn't really have shit going for it.
Yeah. This is
So,
very true. This is very true. Now, in more NFL news, because you know we love it. New England
we love y'all.
picking Marvin Harrison Jr. or pick a quarterback. You're thinking, because I know me and you talked about this, you saying pick Marvin Harrison Jr. And go ahead and
Yep.
elaborate, but I'm pretty sure I know where you're going with the pick Marvin Harrison Jr. first.
So my thing is because a lot of the quarterbacks, like we talked about, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, the people that's going to be available after Caleb Williams more than likely gets picked at number one, and whoever gets picked at number two, because chances are it's going to be a quarterback, and chances are it's going to be Jaden Daniels, Drake May, JJ McCarthy, whoever. Who's left? I don't think it's going to be better than what Marvin Harrison Jr. can bring you. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is the most sure thing offensive weapon in the class this year. And I don't know anything about the defensive side or whole sure things, but he could be the most sure thing prospect within this whole draft. So I don't understand why you wouldn't go more sure thing, especially when that sure thing is an absolute need for you, versus going for a quarterback that is going to fix a little bit. Because the thing about it is the problem that people overlook, and it constantly is overlooked when it comes to how they've evaluated New England for like the last 4 or 5 years, they've always said they don't have any receivers. Period. They don't have any good receivers. Kendrick Bourne, granted, Kendrick Bourne has been nice. Demario Davis was nice last year, or Demario Douglas, excuse me, was nice last year. But they don't have like a go-to receiver and haven't had one since Gronk. And
Yeah,
so, well, Gronk and Antonio Brown, but Antonio Brown barely counts.
yeah. Nah,
But
he
like
doesn't really count.
they haven't had one since Gronk. So when you basically are talking about, okay, why do we go get a receiver, or why should we go get a receiver? Look at what Marvin Harrison Jr. did at Ohio State. He pulled up some mediocre quarterback play to elevate it to like, oh shit, look at what I can do. Like he was that top end dude that was basically taking off defenses and killing defenses. There's no quarterback that's really doing that, or at least not a quarterback that's going to be there at number three. All the quarterbacks have some kind of question mark about them. Some have like whatever it may be, whether it's age, whether it's how much they've had talent. Even when like say Jaden Daniels, who I love, he had two great receivers at LSU.
Yes, he
You
did.
can question mark all of that. But when you look at Marvin Harrison Jr., you're not going to say, well, look at the quarterback he had. He was exceptional. He wasn't. A lot of people can't even name him. Kane off the top of my head. So,
I can't
well, I mean,
either.
CJ Stroud was the first year, but like last year, who was his quarterback? I have no clue. And I did watch at least a couple of their games.
Can't remember who
It's
they
the
had
thing
last
of like Marvin Harrison Jr. is the most sure thing, and he is the biggest thing that I think New England really needs. And I don't think because he's not going to be there past four. Like we talked about it before the show,
year.
Arizona's going to take
Oh
Marvin Harrison
hell
Jr.
yeah.
if he's right there at four. And so that's the thing. Like there is no going like backwards unless because Arizona doesn't need to get to three. Like
Nope.
they don't have a quarterback need necessarily. So if they basically are looking for a player that they can really come in and establish what they've already gotten, no, Marvin Harrison Jr. is that. And it's also the thing of if you basically gonna say, all right, well, why would we want to like, well, okay, what are we gonna do about quarterback? You got Jacoby Brissett. Yeah, he's not great, but at least you got Jacoby. You got somebody that's at least decent. And then you put a decent quarterback with a Marvin Harrison Jr. and you get him with Mario Douglas and all those other cats, that's at least pretty good for a in the AFC East that basically you got Buffalo ain't got no, that's basically reshaping their defense.
Yes, they
You
are.
got Miami that's probably gonna be reshaping their defense.
Mm-hmm.
And you got who's the other team? Jets, who
Yes.
still got Sauce Gardner, but they are basically now going to be coming in with a lot of expectations now that Aaron Rodgers is going to be coming back. So you could really pick apart that division if you want to. You got a new head coach. You want to make a big splash. Why don't you go get a best top of the line talent that you can at least build around? And then years after, whether you go in free agency or you go in whatever, go in the draft next year, why don't you just basically get a top end talent that you can build around something you haven't had in so many years? That's what you need to go. Quarterback is not going to matter. You're going to have the same exact problems you had. It wasn't as if Mac Jones was complete crap. He just didn't have shit.
This is true.
So if you basically have a top end talent that you can basically get and you can basically build around, I think that's better than anything.
And I totally agree with what you're saying, but I think that New England is going to try to say, quote unquote, set themselves up for the future. They're going to say, let's go get. I'm thinking, in all reality, New England is probably going to get Drake May. That's who I'm
Mm.
thinking that they're going to go and get. I'm thinking New England is going to get Drake May, and then I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to fall to the Cardinals. He's going to give the man side, well, the boy size man, boy wonder at quarterback in Arizona a target now. Because I don't. Everything that you're saying is the right thing, but do I think New England is going to do the right thing? No, I don't think that they're going to do the right thing. And
Mm.
it would make sense to go get Jacoby Brissett, a high end talent, see what he could do, see if he eclipses 4,000, 4,500 yards, makes a push, maybe you make the playoffs, and you see where you're at. Because maybe now we're saying this, and we also talked about this before the show. The quarterback draft next year isn't a great draft. Okay. So
Pretty butt.
if you do happen to go get a Marvin Harrison Jr. right now, maybe if you fall and get a Shador that you can develop or someone like that, and you do develop him with a Marvin Harrison Jr., now you have a quarterback that you might have got a little bit later. You got a high end talent. They're only 1 year apart. They're going to grow together. We can start putting other stuff around them. And then, build his team the right way. That would make the most sense. But because it's New England, I don't think that they're going to make the most sense. I think that they're going to try to go get Drake May. They're going to, Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to fall to 4. He's going to go to Arizona, probably win Offensive Rookie of the Year, and Arizona's probably going to peak back in the playoffs again. I think that that's probably what's probably going to happen. Bam. Because they're not going to make the right. They're not going to make the right decision. They're not. They're not. But talking about people and where things are going to be drafted, we got to talk about this. Where do we think some teams? Well, who do we think some teams will draft? And of course, we're going to give certain draft picks. Rob is going to give his take on his Vikings. I'm going to cover Kansas City, and I'm going to talk about a few others. But Rob, who do you want to see your Vikings draft?
So it's a few people. So a guy that basically, I think he got talked about early on, but then got more talked about now. Um, Johnny Newton. Johnny Newton is a defensive tackle at Illinois. Uh, People ran and rave about like basically his ability to really like control the game from an interior alignment standpoint.
Right.
Vikings need defensive tackles. They need multiple. I mean, we did just go out and got Grenard. He's the end. When I got Jerry Tillery, who's like more of a guy that's been around the league for a little minute, but we need defensive tackle. Still got Harrison Phillips, but what we basically need is somebody to really be that Kevin Williams type. My Vikings fans, Skull Nation. We remember my guy, but we need somebody to really like bust down the whole interior lineman and really get in there. I wish they went free agency because I would much rather have a finished product than like a drafty, but somebody that we can build around for the next however many. That'd be great. I like Michael Penix Jr. And the thing about we would talk about with like okay, there's still a lot of red flags and everybody has something. He's been injured a good amount. He's older. He's a lefty, which I don't trust lefties still. But I like him. Like he'd be great. Like I would like them to draft him. Even though I've heard him going high as 8, which for the Falcons, which I don't know. That's a whole nother thing. We ain't got time for that.
Hmm.
Uh, I would like if we gonna draft up, if we're gonna trade up, I would like for us to get Drake May. I don't really care for JJ McCarthy. It's just everything about what they talk about him is the way that even though I just said Mac Jones wasn't that bad, everything
Yeah.
the way they talk about him is Mac Jones. He's got the intangibles. He's a winner. Give a fuck about that. I need somebody to make some plays. I got a nice ass wide receiver who's a nice ass high end engine in Justin Jefferson. I need somebody to get the ball to him. Is JJ McCarthy gonna do that? Is his arm gonna noodle after a while? That's what I'm kind of hesitant on. But they want people to run systems, and if he's the guy, that he's the guy. But like I'm just not as into him as some of these other cats are. I think and I think it's a product of people think that this is who is gonna get drafted versus here's who should get drafted. But yeah, I would like for us to get Drake May. He's an excellent arm talent. Like I like him, just all of his everything. Like he has that kind of stuff. If Jaden Daniels isn't there, I love Jaden Daniels. I'd much rather have Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
But like if Drake May is there or Jaden Daniels there, I love for them to get him. But mainly it is either or Jared Verse out of Florida State. Like if he's still there at 11, he'd be a nice one going on the other side of Grenard. Like, yeah. But overall, it's between Drake May, Jaden Daniels, Johnny Newton, or Jared Verse. That's who I would like for Vikings to take. Uh, but
This
honestly, I ride with y'all, whatever y'all
this
go.
is the part of the show where I'm about to inflate my friends Jaden Daniels' hopes right now. Okay. I'm about to put the oxygen tank to his head and I'm gonna turn it on full blast right now. I'm gonna say that y'all are gonna get Jaden Daniels, okay? And I'm gonna explain to you my theory why. I
Okay.
believe that because of what was said with that with his little with his agent the other night, is gonna make Washington make a stupid mistake, okay? And then I'm gonna watch Jaden Daniels drop the 5 and JJ McCarthy go in his slot at 2. Explain to you why. I feel JJ McCarthy is going to be every bit of enticing to them as a better version of Kirk Cousins was whenever they drafted the year where they drafted RG3 and Kirk Cousins. Okay? I believe
Mm,
he's going to entice them because of what was said with the agent the other night. And Washington, being stupid, is going to buy in on that. And they're going to look at JJ McCarthy and say, that's our system guy right there, okay? Drake May is
mm,
going to stay at 3 because I feel like he has New
mm,
England written all over his face. I feel like his chin and jawline say I belong in New England, okay? When I look at Drake May. And then I believe Marvin Harrison Jr. isn't going to fall past 4. I believe if I was a betting man, if there was one person that I had to bet being drafted in a spot, it's Marvin Harrison Jr. at number 4. That's it. 2
mm,
and 3, I believe in 5 can be rearranged. And I have in my
mm,
head that JJ McCarthy gonna wind up going 2. And you're gonna see New England draft Drake May. And then whenever it's gonna come to 4, you're gonna say, damn it, they gotta take Marvin Harrison Jr. And then your Vikings are gonna be wide open for the LSU reunion. Well, not really a reunion, but LSU prospects to fall in Minnesota to give Minnesota more LSU to LSU action, which we already watch LSU football, and we go for this team, and it's going to give you the LSU quarterback to wide receiver connection that you've been missing in Minnesota. That's going to fuel y'all to make a playoff run, and that's going to be it. Because if mistakes can be made, they shall be made by teams in Washington and teams in
mm.
goddamn New England and possibly Chicago also. If this is your chance to get the
Okay.
LSU to LSU connection right now, Rob, this is I'm turning the oxygen tank on full blast. Remember, it can happen. It can. We have watched the Bears make mistakes, and we know Washington them because I feel Washington's worst mistake that they could have ever did to RG3 was bringing in Kirk Cousins right behind him, knowing that the
Mm,
owner wanted RG3, but your coach wanted Kirk Cousins. Always remember that. I
mm,
never forget about the stupid mistakes and stuff that teams have made. And if they're gonna make a mistake, if there's a like I know, if you go to the buffet and there's a bunch of shit that you see look good, but and you want to try it all, you try not to get a lot of all of it. But sometimes you always mess up and you get a lot of one thing and you don't have enough room for that last thing that you really, really, really want. And that one thing lingers on your mind till you finally get a piece of it, okay? I believe that that thing in Washington is quarterbacks that they think that they can fit into a system. And whenever I look at quarterbacks that they can fit
mm,
into a system, it's goddamn JJ McCarthy. And I believe that if they're gonna make that mistake in this draft, it's gonna be taking JJ McCarthy at 2 and letting Jaden Daniels fall. Because I promise you, New England is not going to draft Jaden Daniels at 3. Drake May has New England chin written all over him right now. He's going to go 3, Marvin Harrison 4, and you're going to go LSU to LSU because Jaden Daniels is going to drop to 5, and you're going to be running around the house going, go LSU in Minnesota for like to the start of the season, just knowing I got the quarterback from LSU that's gonna throw to the high end wide receiver from LSU. I got Lamborghini engine and Lamborghini tires now on my car. Let's go.
Mhm.
I feel that's what can happen for you right now, Rob. This is the time. I'm going to inflate it for you because I believe that this can happen. Stranger things have happened. It can happen, bro. It can happen. I'm
I
telling you, it can happen.
I want to. I'm glad you spoke this into the universe, my brother. Glad you did.
I've been thinking on it. I see.
I thought I was going. I thought I was head over heels when you talked about the Bears fucking up. Now it's other teams that could be fucking up that goes in our favor because we're the team to fuck up. But like,
But look, y'all in a position where everybody else can fuck up in front of y'all and y'all get the good pick. Cause remember, we know that Washington can mess this up. We know that. We know Chicago. I'm willing to bet right now. Chicago is at home thinking, is this the guy that we picked? Because before we thought that we picked the right guy and the guys after him were the right guys. So let me look at the guys after who we think should be the sure thing. And maybe one of them is my sure thing. We know people are prone to overthinking, especially GMs in the NFL. Because what did we say about quarterback evaluation? They always look at the engine and not everything else that's with the engine. Nobody's looking at everything else that was around JJ McCarthy. They just know that he's really good in the system. They don't care about nothing else. He's really good in the system. What was Jaden Daniels? Jaden Daniels was a lot of improvising. There's a lot of improvising down here in LSU. What does that say? He's not that good in the system to them. We know this is how they think. Look at the Mitch Trubisky, Patrick Mahomes thing. We even talked about it. Patrick Mahomes makes weird throws. He's prone to turn the ball over. Would we think that 3 Super Bowls now? There you go.
it doesn't matter. Yeah, like it's like that. That's one of those like yeah, he's got a club foot, but he be moving in that club foot. Like it don't matter. Like things that would be a hindrance to somebody else, he does the best with them and has success with it. And so yeah, it's
I'm
yeah.
telling you, if this is a time for them to mess up, this is your time to watch them mess up and give you exactly what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Because we know that they prone to do this. There's never been a time more for them to mess because there's too many good things. This is the buffet that they can't turn away from because everybody looks good right now up top. You can even go down as far as say if you don't get a Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors is coming out of LSU. He going 6. You're looking at all of the stuff. Joe Alt, huge offensive tackle. Huge guy. Look, they already feel like he's a lock to go to Tennessee. You knew Atlanta needs an edge rusher. Dallas Turner's coming out. These first 10 picks are people who they know. The only one that if they even the Raiders, Michael Penix Jr., Raiders need a quarterback. Raiders don't have a top 10 pick. But guess what? There's so many other quarterbacks that are good. Penix can fall to you at 10. You can get a decently good quarterback to come out and go to Las Vegas now. So I'm telling you, if this is the time for them to mess up and give you exactly what you want, it's going to happen right now. Because there's somebody in their office sweating right now behind the pick that they have to make on draft day. And this pick is going to be one of the strikes on their 3-strike count on whether or not I get to keep this job for the next few years. And this is their chance to mess up. Because if Jaden Daniels falls to you at 5, and let's say JJ McCarthy is okay, let's say he's okay in Washington. Okay, he's decent. But you get Jaden Daniels and come out the box firing because of Justin Jefferson, then everybody looks around because we all know that they point fingers at each other. You the one told me that we should have went him. I should have went there. He should have went there.
Yep.
We always can look back and look at the Trubisky and Mahomes draft. Mahomes was said to be turnover prone. He was careless with the ball. Everything else, they thought Trubisky was it. You draft Trubisky, and then the guy down that I want to say the number 9, number 10 slot winds up being a 3-time Super Bowl champion, and I want to say 2 or 3-time MVP. It's a mind game. It's gonna be a mind game with him, bro. I promise you. This could happen. This could really happen for y'all. I just had to elaborate on that one. We gonna move on. We gonna switch topics a little bit here because as we start to wind down the show, NBA. Rob, I know you're a Warriors fan. They got knocked out in the playoffs for them this year. Are we seeing the end of this dynasty? Is this the end? Are we winding down? Is there no more Steph Curry? Is he gonna finish out his career there? He's just gonna be a high end player on that team. He's gonna retire a Warrior. Or are they gonna try to make some moves? Is this the end of this dynasty, bro?
Yes and no. I think that when we talk about, so like let's go ahead, let's define the word dynasty.
Okay.
So a dynasty, a succession of rulers of the same line of descent. Another definition, a powerful group of, or family that maintains its position for a considerable time. So when we talk about the dynasty, or when I talk about the dynasty of the Warriors, what we talked about last week, like the end of last week, when we say like with the Warriors of what they've done to the game of basketball. Like what they've done is that they've changed how we view or how the NBA is played. So when we talk about the beginnings of their dynasty, so let's go back to like the 2014-2015 season. The number of three-point attempts that were shot in the 2014-2015 season were 22 a game. This is for the whole season for all of everybody. As of see, as of 2024, it is up to 35. Or up to last season is up to 35 per game. So when we're looking at what basically teams are doing, and we're looking at basically how teams are playing the game, the dynasty of what they are in the physical sense. Yes, is Clay going to be on this team next year? Probably not. Is Draymond going to be on this team next year? Probably so, because the Warriors actually were much better with Draymond this year than they were without him. When it comes to what they are as a team, as presently constructed, the dynasty is going to be almost over. But what they've done as far as changing the league and changing what the league does as a construct, I think that dynasty is still there. Like three pointers are the thing. Three pointers are what people emphasize. Them shooting it more than everybody else is one of those things that's going to be what people think about with this team, bar none. Even though we talked about defense, even though we talked about what they did as far as changing players and what they've done as far as rehabilitating players like a Sean Livingston and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yes, that's over. I think because Draymond's getting older, Clay is getting older and is gonna be looking for some money. I don't know who's gonna pay him, but he's looking for some money. Steph is getting older. He's still great, but he's still getting older. What they are in the physical sense, yes, that's going to be the thing that's going to be going away. I think that you can't replicate that for years upon years. Think about it. Their first title was 2015. That's impossible to basically be like, oh, we're going to do the same stuff years upon years after. Like where we've had, Steph had injuries. We had Draymond had injuries and
Yeah.
suspensions. We had Clay that's had multiple injuries. Had Kevin Durant coming in and out. Like it's impossible. But no, what they've done as far as in the magnitude of the NBA, that's never going away. And I think that when we talk about their reign, yeah, the Warriors' reign is over. But the dynasty of what they've done in the succession, even though it's not really, they don't have a succession plan, but like what they've done as far as their influence onto the league, I don't think that could basically be replaced. And I don't think that's going to get replaced anytime soon. At least until they widen the court or widen the lane and then basically move back to 3 point line. But as of right now, that dynasty is still going to be there.
Yeah. I agree. That they've definitely influenced the pace and space, and this has been their time though to really make that work. Big men that shoot, spreading the floor, lots of 3 pointers up, lots of shots getting put up. It's gonna forever stay there until they make another massive league change or they widen the courts or something. Which I've been thinking for a while that they maybe should widen the court possibly. Um, I don't think that they're gonna do it. I don't see it being done right now. Maybe in the future. I think that they're gonna try to keep the court the same size. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking.
Mm,
Maybe widening. I don't see them widening the lane. Something will be done though to basketball in the next few years to maybe
yeah.
make a big change. But it just pain. Well, it pains me that to see Clay go out like he's going out. That's the one that hurts me. Cause the other night the 0 for 9 and it was just man. It was like
Yeah. It That part is, but it's also that Clay was always a streaky shooter. Or maybe not streaky. He was a generally consistent shooter. But it just was he had times that he could just go flat. And he went flat. And but yeah, like he's had a lot of injuries. I mean, he came back from the ACL and then had Achilles bust. Like,
yeah,
or he came back from Achilles and then had an ACL. Like it's hard. It's hard to basically be that and be who he was. Like, yeah.
man. The Warriors have had quite the influence on the NBA, and it's to be seen what happens with Steph and Draymond, and if where Clay goes, and this, that, and the third. Because I'm hoping if the Warriors want to be competitive, I'm hoping that they just go out and actually be competitive and don't look to give out loyalty contracts, as I like to call them. Hey, you've been here for so long. We're gonna give you this. Don't do that with Clay. You know, just
Mm.
don't do it. Now, to wind down the show, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna talk about one more thing. Shohei Ohtani, the unicorn of baseball. If you don't know what a unicorn is, it's that bright pony with the horn that's so mythical that we only see it or we hope to see it everywhere. Um, Rob, you have a take on what's going on right now with him and his situation, and I see that we're kind of calling it the plight of the quiet man. So are we kind of going Kawhi Leonardish right here? Is that where we're going with this one?
That's exactly where we're going. So like as I was looking at this whole situation with Shohei, and I'm thinking to myself, like, I don't know shit about this dude. But I know these motherfuckers is making these comments no less. Because like me and the homie Nate, we're baseball fans. Like I think
Big
he's that way.
baseball fans.
Like we're baseball fans. And so like Shohei Otani, I've been talking to y'all about him. I've been saying he's sports Haley's comment. Y'all need to basically go look at him while he's
Yes.
here. Because the motherfucker might not pitch again. So keep that in mind. He's not gonna pitch this year, might pitch next year. So, but I'm thinking about the whole situation with him and his interpreter. So if y'all haven't been hearing about what happened with his interpreter, Shohei's former interpreter, I can't remember his name, so I ain't gonna say it. But he basically, the interpreter stole, according to the FBI and Homeland Security, stole upwards of $180 million from Shohei and used the money for illegal gambling. Had a bookie, had a lot of different things. If you haven't already, go look up the New York Times article about everything that Shohei's uh, former interpreter did. Like it's kind of wild. Like and but as the story was going on, people were like, "How can somebody just steal money out of your account and not have you know it?" And I'm thinking to myself, these motherfuckers are rich. They don't look at this shit. Like the thing that I think when it comes to people with money that people make the misconception on is that they look at every single dollar that's going. And there's some that do, but there's others that don't. And with athletes, there's so much ingrained to, especially baseball players, there's so ingrained to like their specific sport. It's plenty of players that have no clue what where their money is. Cause like I've heard stories about cats not knowing that they even have direct deposit and like checks basically sitting out there. I've heard cats like basically not knowing how much they're getting paid. Like yeah, as people, as regular everyday people, yeah, it's gonna be noticed if $1,000 gonna get taken out of my account, let alone 180 million. But for Shohei, like, yeah, it's easy for him, especially because he has multiple streams of income when you're talking about the endorsements in Japan, the endorsements in America, his actual MLB income. Like, him not knowing where some money is makes sense. Because we don't even know how much money he got. Like,
at
we
all.
have no clue. Like, we could intimate on what Shohei has, but we could intimate on anybody else. But I guess my whole thing have been, and why I say it's like the Kawhi Leonard situation is that when you're a quiet person, I'm a quiet person. In case y'all didn't realize, I'm a very quiet guy. Like people see me and they be like, "Yeah, I didn't know you talked." I've heard that plenty of times.
Yes.
And when you're quiet and when you're a quiet person and people know you as a quiet person, they'll make up shit about you. Because I've heard different shit about me at times. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And it's not even remotely true.
Not even
Because
close.
when you don't basically come out and speak and you not laying yourself and laying your personality out there, it's going to basically be like, okay, people are going to imagination is going to go, and they might take a morsel of information and make a mountain out of it. So with Shohei, people are basically like, well, he bet on sports and he this and that. Here's the fucking thing: like the FBI said that there were no bets placed on baseball. So right then and there, MLB is not going to care. Like point blank, they don't. I will be very surprised if basically they throw the book at Shohei, even if he lied, and MLB finds out some information that the FBI, CIA didn't. But if basically there's information that say Shohei bet on other sports and did it through a legal bookie, they ain't gonna care that much as long as baseball wasn't affected. They're more worried about the integrity of the game. They're not worried about the integrity of each single person. Now, if basically you might be like, well, his integrity could get hampered if basically he's betting on other sports like gangbusters, and then it could be betting on baseball. Sure, that's always a possibility, but he could also anybody could just be betting on baseball any given day. You just saw Porter basically get suspended because he wanted to basically be the dumbest motherfucker on earth and basically have people giving people information on, oh man, hit the under on me. I ain't gonna be in this game. Yeah, giving insider trading. Yeah, like anybody can do that at any given time. Like illegal activity is not for people that just grow up in it. It's for people that want to do it whenever they want to do it. So when it comes to Shohei, it's facts that like Kawhi, when people were talking about him with the Clippers and going through with his uncle and getting those different stories and everything like that, when you don't lay yourself out there, people are gonna basically do whatever it is that they want to do with your story. And it's on you to basically change whatever story that you're gonna do it, or just be like, man, look, I know what the truth is with me. I'm just gonna keep on my own way. But with Shohei, with Kawhi, with any other quiet dude, it's a plight because you're just basically like, I gotta fucking defend myself when I don't even feel like it, just because somebody else wants to have an imagination. So with Shohei, I don't know. I don't think he did it. There's some things that even I'm still skeptical about just a little bit, but to be honest, it's not enough for me, and I don't have any information to basically say you did anything, Shohei. From what it sounds like, you're a victim of fraud. The way the FBI said it, you're a victim of fraud. That's what I'm gonna say it is. Till I get something else different. But yeah, it is crazy of everything that came into it, everything that went into how basically old dude got all that money. Yeah, it's wild. But as of everything, like as of what it is, people are gonna run with whatever they want to run with, even though they don't know a jack shit about Shohei and they're basically projecting. So that's what I really want to say about it.
Yeah, but I don't think he did it. I'm with Rob. It's not enough out there. We can't, we can't put this because there are so many stories. And this man is just a quiet guy, and I just love to watch him play baseball, bro. I don't believe
Hmm.
that. Yeah, they always say, "Well, be careful of quiet ones." I don't think this guy is that guy. I think that he's the guy that's extremely good at freaking baseball, pitching and hitting.
Yep.
Not to mention, I want to say what that was the other night. He hit 175, 176. He beat Hideki Matsu's Japanese record for people in the MLB. Like,
Hmm.
I think that's the guy that we love, and I don't think he did it. I think it was stolen from him. He's been making money, bro. He was making money hand over ass in Anaheim, like so, and now he's about to make even more money, you know, for the next
Yep.
10 years, and he's gonna be one of the guys. Like I said, if you don't watch baseball or you've ever been interested, right now he's batting. He's a DH right now for the Dodgers. Go watch him hit. Go look at highlights of him pitch. Just enjoy what you see. They can say whatever they
Hmm.
wanted to say about Babe Ruth used to pick. Babe Ruth ain't got shit on this man, okay? He ain't got shit
Not
on
even
this man.
remotely.
It's not even close. Okay? George Herman Ruth can't do what Shohei Ohtani is doing, okay? And I ain't never seen
Hmm.
no footage of George Herman Ruth throwing a breaking ball that went from that looked like it had like a 18 to 22 inch
Chest to
break.
ass.
Yeah, yeah, like
Boom, boom.
yeah, he's not doing that. Okay, they weren't doing that back in the day. I'm sorry to say it. I'm sorry to say it, but I don't think he did it. I think the guy's innocent. I don't think he's gonna take any ban. I think that they're gonna try to throw the interpreter in jail though. I think I know he's about to get his ass deported if he is already deported.
Yeah.
And I probably think that I probably think that the United States Service is going to tell Shohei, look here, the next interpreter you get, let us vet them, let us pull all their files and stuff, and make sure that you get it over here. And if, if
May or may not.
anything, that
Because I think the practice of it, because like as far as what I've been tracking, no interpreters really like interpreters for other teams, like they don't really get vetted.
yeah,
Like that's the one thing is like they just like, all right, that's your dude. All right, cool.
yeah,
Like they don't really like care because it's this one is a special case too. Cause like
yeah,
from what they found out is that the dude said he went to a college in California, said there's no record of it. Like he was a special case, but I guess you know what? No, let me backtrack. It is possible
yeah,
because of this being such a high profile situation. At least a courtesy background check would be the case. Like I,
yeah.
actually
I
is pretty
think it's
right.
going to warrant some type of vetting now, these dudes. And look, I'm going to say this. All you interpreters who may have made a hustle being interpreters to these foreign players, you might want to get out the game right now. Cause look, look, look,
Look,
look, Pimp C them said the game been good to me. This might be your time to bounce out next stage, right? Because I'm gonna tell you now, yeah, this is about to change now with this man losing this money. And like I said, I don't believe that he's guilty, but I do believe that this interpreter did a lot of crap that they shouldn't have been doing. So we gonna see this change. And hey, if the game been good to you and you've been out there scamming, you might want to exit stage right now and be like, you know what? I had a run out scamming in different languages.
mm,
Let me go ahead and get out right now so I can miss the ship. They ain't gonna have a chance to deport me. I'ma just leave. But the plight of the
yep,
quiet man, I think that's the perfect way for him. And I just want to see this man be great and hit more home runs and strike out more people because it is incredible to watch that breaking ball drop straight down like somebody had a razor. Just People swinging for their life, trying to see what the hell was that. And I know you guys probably like, they love baseball too much. Go play MLB The Show, damn it. And let somebody throw a 12-6 curve on you, or let them throw that breaking ball that breaks hard from right to left and drops in the zone, or what you thought was going to be in the zone, and it's near your ankles, and see how long y'all last out there. How many broken controllers you have. You're gonna rethink about things, and you're gonna go take a peep at baseball. But with that being said, you already know we're ending the show. Me and Rob about to be out of here. Bruh Migos podcast. Rob, let them know that we leaving.
All right. Good night, Canada. Good night, Taylor Swift. And before we leave out of here, let me share a happy belated birthday. Even though I already texted you, my nigga, but this is for y'all to say happy birthday to the homie Nate. To the homie Nate, whose birthday was just, I lost track of days. Was it Friday?
Yeah, it was Friday. It was Friday on the 19th.
Basically Friday. Yeah. So, happy belated birthday, bro. Or happy. I already said happy birthday, but happy birthday, bro. I have to at least, call you because you basically are the reason why y'all see this podcast. Period. Like, he does everything. He makes it, work. He makes me look good. He makes all this whole podcast look good, man. So, man, happy birthday, dog. And y'all need to tell my nigga happy birthday. All of y'all. I'm looking at you too.
Thank you.
And them.
Oh, and shout out to 1 hour intro videos and the art that you see. That is my nephew, who surprisingly is his birthday today as we record this. Shout out to the boy Kenny. Happy birthday to you, because I know that you're gonna watch this and you're gonna see this. Yeah, so Kenny. Happy birthday, Kenny. Shout out from me and Rob, Bruh Migos podcast to you. And with that being said, we're out of here. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, tell your people. We gone. Deuces.
Thanks for checking out this episode of the Bra Migos podcast. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss an episode.